We're live.
Hello, welcome.
welcome.
I'm going to just be completely honest. There's a huge issue with my camera, so I'm a little, probably not delayed, but fuzzy and all the rest of it. I don't know if it's the camera, internet, we have no idea, but we're still live. We're still doing it. We'll work something out for next week, as usual. Okay, we've got a big week for boxing, for what's happened last week and what's happening this week, and announcements, and is there any like controversy? I don't know, all this controversial stuff as well. So got a lot. Paolo, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good.
I don't know. It's controversial. I'm not happy because we are hooked casuals, yeah. So I will say it before we get into the boxing. I'm fuming, by the way, as a football fan with what happened Tuesday night in the Champions League.
I'm glad someone's fuming about it because I'm not happy either. Declan Rice has no right to be doing that.
Declan Rice is ridiculous, by the way. Like what he done, fair play to him. But you see the Arsenal fans. There's two things that can't happen in this country, yeah? Tommy Robinson can't become Prime Minister because we're fucked, yeah, if he does. The second one, your camera's gone back to normal now. The second one is, so Tommy Robinson can't become Prime Minister, this country will be fucked. The other one is Arsenal cannot win the Champions League because we will not hear the end of it.
No.
They are the two givens in life that at the moment I'm running with.
Yeah, I agree.
I've had too many messages off Arsenal fans. Yeah, you got to let them talk for a week. But yeah, as I said to you, it does actually relate to something before we get into the boxing. From next season, we will start to look at some football games and stream other bits on different days. It'll be separate to the boxing show, but we've got big plans for next year. So do you like that, how I smooth that in there?
I do like that. And do you know what I'm going to do? Because it's like we're kind of somewhat controversial stuff. So we're going to go straight into it and talk about Adeleye versus TKV. What did you make of the knockout?
It's bro. Hear what I'm saying, yeah?
I don't think it's controversial.
The rules of the rules. It's not. All right, let me do it like this. Yeah, the boxers are not in the wrong, by the way. Adeleye is only in the ring. If the ref doesn't pull them apart, that's on him. It's all well and good reordering the rematch, yeah. But Adeleye was just doing his job.
Yeah.
Because same time, if he would have backed off and the ref didn't intervene, who's to say that Jamie wouldn't have punched him?
Yeah, exactly.
So we can do this all day, but Adeleye didn't do anything wrong specifically. However, once again, the British Board of Boxing Control stink out the gaff, just like Real Madrid did on Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can compare it. It was like watching Real Madrid. It was terrible.
We've got another situation, right? So for those that didn't see it, because even if you don't think it's controversial, the punch that Adeleye lands is nuts. It's a short left hook, and it, I think, knocks any person on this planet out. That guy's power is silly, but it's not controversial for me because Adeleye posted it himself. You watch the two of them earlier in the fight. They get told to break. Adeleye doesn't punch. Jamie does.
He cuts off but he cuts off the footage, Connor. Because if you watch the longer one, Jamie punches him, yes. Straight after Jamie punches him, the ref's gone over to him to tell him, don't do that. So he's grabbed his arm.
But then is that... Okay, so I get that. But then also, it's not David Adeleye. Like, it's not. I don't have a problem with Jamie doing that. After the bell is a problem because you know when the bell is, you should be able to control yourself. But when you're clinched and the ref's telling you to break, you should, but we don't know what it's like to be in there. You don't know what they can hear, what they can't hear.
At the end of the day, this controversy has happened before a lot of times, but they both heard break because they both break.
Yeah.
They both stopped. They both let go, so they did hear it. However, at that point there, the referee should have gone in, split them up, gone, go again.
Yeah, pushed them apart.
He didn't do that. So for me, you can't blame Adeleye. As a boxer, he's only doing what he's doing. So I don't think any of this heat should be directed towards him.
No, absolutely
directed towards the referee that's in charge. Because as I said in my last episode, we've just got old men making shit decisions. We need people in the sport. There are some great out there. and I'm not disregarding or discrediting what fighters they've done and what they've done, but when you make a shit decision in boxing, yeah, and to be honest with you, it does affect the likes of maybe depending on who you're supporting. But if you're going to a stadium, yeah, or even the arena where Queensbury had that card, if you're going to the arena, you paid all the money, and that decision ends the fight early because of a stupidness. It's all well and good just walking off and shaking it off again, but realistically, the fighters pay for it the most, and then second of all, the fans who pay the tickets to go and watch pay for it because they feel like they've been robbed out of seeing a fight carry on for whatever reason. So you question with these shit decisions, do people get their value for money? No.
Yeah. And you're right. Adeleye shouldn't take any heat for it. Adeleye has already said he'll do the fight again. So it's not his fault that he's stupidly powerful, and it's not his fault that the ref didn't break him up. And it's definitely not his fault if he's going to take the fight again that he's done what he's done. Jamie TKV, I feel sorry for him. Assuming that he is going to get the rematch, then good. Because he was winning the rounds up to that point, I think.
The British board have ordered it, but Adeleye doesn't have to take it. What I mean by that is he's won the British belt, but he could walk straight into a European title fight next. So there's no need to keep the British belt and relinquish it. Once
I think he should take it. I don't really know what else is out there for Adeleye right now.
No, there's loads. There's a Wardley rematch, but Wardley won the fight the same way that Adeleye won his fight.
Yeah. I think Wardley is too powerful and too good.
But Wardley, in the first one, what I'm going back to it, Wardley won his fight against Adeleye the same way Adeleye beat Jamie TKV. So people aren't talking about that.
No, it's true.
So I'm saying we keep the energy up and we keep it consistent if we're going to do it for one and the other.
True. Either way, controversial, but we're going to get the rematch. And realistically, I'm quite excited for it because Jamie TKV was a lot better in the rounds where they were fighting. He was a lot better than I thought he would be. And Adeleye did pretty much exactly what I thought he would do, but just not in the circumstances. Now, on the same night, we had the main event, Joyce-Hrgovic. Joyce needs to retire. We said this last Thursday. We said it whenever Joyce fought Chisora. We said it when Joyce fought Kashali. We said it when Joyce fought Zhang. Whether that's on stream or not, we have been saying it for a long time. Zhang for the second time, obviously not the first. Joyce, and for God love him. British community really. He's a really entertaining guy. He's had a really good bit of career. But Joyce will never eclipse beating Daniel Dubois or beating Joe Parker. And he is certainly not in a position now that he should be fighting anymore. If Frank Warren has any, real morals, he will say to Joyce, I'm not promoting you anymore because I can't do that. Because it's now getting to a point, it's actually wrong. He gets in there, he just gets hit. It was 10 rounds, 12 rounds of just watching Hrgovic ping his head back. Hrgovic isn't as good as I thought he would be, by the way.
No, but Hrgovic said that fight on short notice. So
true. So understandable, but
what do you have, a 3-week camp?
Yeah. So all right, yeah. Not maybe enough to I will let him off, but it's still not as good as I thought. But Dillian Whyte would have really hurt Joyce. There's just nothing there. There's nothing there that says he can keep going. And that's not even disrespectful to Joyce. It's just, well, maybe it is, but it's not meant to be. It's just the fact. That's the facts of it. Joyce is done.
Do you know what it is for me? Yeah, at some point, when we talk about protecting fighters, the board have got to take away his license to box.
Yeah,
because at some point, it's all well and good. And do you know what? We're talking from a place of people that mean absolutely nothing to Joyce. Yes, we mean nothing to him. We mean maybe nothing to a lot of people. We mean nothing to his family. I don't say this from a place of disrespect. I know we've all had our laughs about him stumbling and not being able to have the good verbals in press conferences. But listen, at the end of the day, that is a person who's got a life. and there's a life past boxing, right? Like, there's a life past boxing. Catterall's promoter,
Jones.
Sam said the same thing. There is a life after boxing. I watched that interview he done, and I agree. 39 years old. What's he got? A family, wife, kids.
He's got a wife. He's got kids.
There's at some point it's bigger than this. In the grand scheme of things, this means absolutely nothing when it comes to your health, because your health takes number one over everything. Yeah. And that's in any element of life, be it if you're a boxer or if you work in a fucking office. If you're stressed too much and it's affecting your health to the point where you can't sleep or you can't function properly, you have to leave that job. It's the same thing in boxing. He's not who he was. He's not the juggernaut that, he came in, he had a great run, but I think it's time for him to go. I don't think, personally, I'd even be bothered to, like, if I see him fight again, I don't even think I'd watch it.
No, not now. We know what's happening, and this is the problem, right? Boxing's dangerous. It's like from the moment you step into a gym, boxing is a dangerous sport. If you are not able to compete, if you can't compete, then you should not do it. In the same way that if your heart isn't really in boxing, you won't do it, because you're getting hit, and nobody gets hit, and they're not 100% involved with it, because you don't get hit and come back.
How many boxing deaths have we had over the course?
Too many, and look, I mean, boxing's a global sport, and deaths happen in all sports, but boxing's also a sport where you get hit in the head. So if you've got a fighter like Joe Joyce, who he is never going to get to world level again, I don't even think he's British level now. So let's just call it what it is. His career has peaked. He has sold out arenas. He has made good money. Hopefully, still has good money, but he's definitely made good money. He's got highlights. There's a period of time where I think, and genuinely, we said Usyk is the best fighter in the world, heavyweight wise, and we were like, I want to see Joe Joyce fight him. There was a time where we were saying that. I'm glad we didn't see that fight, because I think it would have been.
This was, when this time was? When you actually think about it, yeah. This was pre-Hooked Casuals. This is when me and you met, and we done a pod together. I can see if I can try and find the clip. And I had you on. Connor was an up-and-coming interviewer. He's a seasoned pro now.
Barely doing these anymore, but yeah, sure.
Interviewer for fighters. And, we said this actually about Joe Joyce. At the time, I was like, I'd love to see him fight Usyk, because I think at the time he would have maybe given Usyk something different to beat him. I'm not saying Usyk would have lost, and I'm not saying Joe Joyce would have won or lost, but it should have been a good fight. If I was to watch that fight now, I don't think you could warrant it. To be honest, you couldn't even warrant the fight.
No, but that's kind of the point. Is he's had his peak, and his peak was amazing, but it was short, and we're now at a point where he can't be in that ring anymore. He really can't. He shouldn't be in the ring anymore.
Claude from AFTV said, man, was it Claude? Rest in peace, man. It's time to go.
It's time to... Yeah, that's Claude. And yeah, rip.
Man. Rip. How do you abbreviate something so sensitive, Connor? Rip. It's time to go. Nah, seriously, all jokes aside, though, for his health and everything else, I wish nothing but the best to him. He's given a lot to boxing. Boxing fans should be grateful. These guys put their bodies on the line, and I'm always appreciative of that. People, they put their body on the line in the name of entertainment. But at some point, when everyone around you now, not just fans in Instagram comments, people around you are saying, like, retire. Yeah,
you got to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, it wasn't a great fight. Not the most entertaining. Hrgovic has an okay win on his record. He'll go and probably fight Dillian White, I guess makes sense. I don't know, but not really fussed. I can't see Hrgovic doing too much. But the point is, Joe Joyce should be done. And now we'll move on to slightly different thing, which is Dmitry Bivol, who has vacated the WBC World Light Heavyweight title.
Love that.
Same. He's a man of his word. Now, in fairness, so this, by the way, confirms two things. One, Bivol Beterbiev 3 is on, because otherwise he would have been fighting elsewhere. And two, David Benavidez is a world champion at light heavyweight, which really I don't think anyone cares about because he's not won it in the ring. Nothing against him, but that's just the way it is. That's the way it's gone. So Bivol Beterbiev 3 will happen. That will get announced soon, I imagine, because it's kind of confirmed now anyway, so why hold it back? And Benavidez. And they were offering $8 million to Bivol for the Benavidez fight. Could have been more. But he said no. And I don't even know if they had a choice, but he said no. He was doing the Beterbiev fight all day long. He's going to defend it. What a man. What a guy. It's a lot of boxers that go back on their word.
Do you know what, though? That might open the doors to Canelo fighting Benavidez now.
Canelo is not going up to fight Benavidez.
He's got a world title. He's got a world title.
Canelo ain't going 175.
I think Canelo would to fight Benavidez.
You would have to put a $500 million. You need $500 million to get Canelo in there at 175.
World title. If he goes to win a WBC world title at light heavyweight, I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, no one can chat to Canelo now. You imagine he goes and wins a WBC title light heavyweight.
Yeah. He's. I mean, I don't know what that does for his legacy. Like, I mean, he's already one of the greatest. But
do you know what? What do you do after you complete boxing?
I don't know. What's Canelo doing? You just keep boxing.
It's like, no, but I mean it as in certain fighters, yeah, like once they've done everything, what else can they do? Like, what else can Usyk do now? Yeah, what else can Terence Crawford do in respect of what he's won? What else can Nairo do?
You got to be there and just do some, like, Usyk's gone and fighting the young guy again in Dubois, the world champion. He's going to try and unify again against this up-and-coming world champion, which sounds weird, but he is, who's stupidly powerful. Crawford is testing himself 3 weights up. Canelo is kind of sat at super middle. So I get that, and I get the idea of going to 175 and fighting Benavidez. But I promise you, it's going to take $500 million to get that man to move 7 pounds up and fight for the world title against Benavidez. It is not happening. And if it does happen, and Canelo wins, I don't really know where you rank him, but he'd be my top 3 potentially ever. Because Benavidez is not a joke. He's the boogeyman already.
Do you know what's funny?
But I can't see it.
Very quickly, because I'm not going to try and go too off topic. But do you know who's still fighting to this day? Rigondeaux. Do you know Rigondeaux, the boxer?
No. Heard the name.
Serious boxer, Rigondeaux. He's still fighting to this day. He's been about for years.
Oh, Guillermo Rigondeaux.
Go to his box
44 rate. Box rate. Okay. Jesus, he's been fighting for a while. Nonito Donaire. 44 years old. Debut 2009. Jeez, man. You fighting on Willie K. All right. Learn something new.
Yeah, fighting serious. Believe he's got a fight coming up soon. It's mental. But yeah, anyway, going back to the point, like them guys that stay around for, yeah, man, I don't know what else. I always got Canelo in high regard anyway. I think whatever else he just does now is just catch life. He's just catching life right now. That's what he's doing. Outside of that, he's got nothing to prove to no one. When you get to that point, you just do what you want. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes and fights Benavidez for the WBC world title. You heard it here first. Cheers.
Okay. I'm not convinced, but maybe. Either way, who's Benavidez going to fight next? Because it won't be Canelo next anyway, because Canelo's got William Skull and then he's got Crawford. So is it Callum Smith?
It has to be Callum Smith because he... Well, no, it doesn't have to be, but Callum Smith is probably going to be the highest ranked light heavyweight at the moment outside of them.
But
he just beat Buatsi.
It's WBC though. Is it going to be Callum Smith? Let's have a look at their rankings.
It'll be somebody from Uzbekistan who just fits their profile. Truly.
No, you're right. I agree, but let's have a look. Right. World champion David Benavidez. Number 1, Beterbiev. Number 2, David Morrell. Number 3, Albert Ramirez from Venezuela. So you're pretty close. So it's going to be Albert Ramirez, realistically. Let's see if he's got a fight coming up. But yeah.
Fight in a Venezuelan gym, leisure center.
It will be Albert Ramirez. I guarantee you, I put money on it. He's not fought since February. He's 20-0. Looks, to be fair, he looks like a decent fighter, but it's going to be him. 100%. Because after that, you got Alexander Govska, who's already fought. Boatsi's just lost. He's not going to, he's not fighting. Connor Wallace, Willie Hutchinson, and then Yard. It's Ramirez. Cool. So that's sorted.
Yeah, Willie Hutchinson's not fought though since Boatsi.
Yeah, no, he's not. That's a while back. He took it. Maybe he's taking it a little bit harder than, I don't know, Willie Hutchinson. Yeah, he's not fought since. Geez, that was the Joshua undercard. Well, either way, he's not getting thrown into a world title fight. So it's going to be Albert Ramirez. There's nothing. Ramirez has done his bit. He's 20-0. He's 17 knockouts. He deserves to be where he is. But when we know that Callum Smith is the 4th best light heavyweight, and we know that the 2 best are fighting again, which, by the way, there's some people complaining about. If you're complaining that Bivol and Beterbiev are fighting for a 3rd time, you're stupid. The first 2, this will be one of the greatest trilogies ever. I think it will be the most technical trilogy ever. Just in terms of pure, just the actual boxing on display, I think it is going to be the most technical trilogy ever, and I can't see it being beaten, but that's a load of rubbish because I'm sure it will be at some point. So you can't complain about that, but Benavidez should be fighting Callum Smith, and it should be on the undercard of Bivol Beterbiev.
Yeah,
but that's maybe asking a lot. I don't know. Either way, that's big news. Also, quite big news is that we always talk about him because he is going to be the next thing. That's Moses Itauma is back, just fighting former American linebacker. I don't want to put him down. He's a pro boxer. He's 20-1 or something. He's a good fighter. So
I've just seen that tonight. To be fair.
Yeah, I think it was announced today officially, but he's fighting on the Echo Esserman undercard. I quite like the fact he's not just waiting.
Yeah.
Mike Balogun. So obviously, he fought Dempsey McKean, who had just been beaten by Hrgovic, but was kind of that's the stepping stone into the world level fights. And obviously Hrgovic is taken, Joe Joyce was taken, Dillian White was meant to be and is injured now. So there's not a lot of options for that next step. So he's gone, all right, well, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to fight this guy who's decent.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Moses will batter him. I don't think there's any competition there.
It's just moving him up the rankings is what.
Yeah. Getting him more experience. The perfect thing would be if Balogun can actually stay in the ring. And I mean that in the most respectful way possible. But if he could not get knocked out in a round, give Moses something to think about, which I can't see happening. But if he could, that'd be perfect. But I can't see anything other than 3 rounds maximum.
See that Moses Itauma fight? I'm going to tell you how it ends.
Yeah. Yeah. Sleepy time. He's he's far too good. I think either way, it's good to see. Like, he's just active. Yeah. He is what we want from all of the fighters. I mean, we
remember he's young. Remember he's young as well. There was a lot of. Let's be honest. Yeah, we look at a Joshua who realistically this year he's probably going to get out twice.
Yeah, but I don't want Joshua out too much anymore. But
that's my point I'm trying to make. With age, as they get older, that's just a natural thing. The only person, there's only people that are kind of, even now you're seeing it with Canelo. Like last year, what did he fight? 3-4 times?
Yeah. He fought Berlanga, he fought Munguia.
Yeah, this year, we'll be lucky to see him out 3 times.
We're going to see him twice? Has he fought twice? We're going to see him against Skull, and we're going to see him against.
Was this year, wasn't it? Or was that last year?
That's what I'm trying to work out. No, Berlanga was last year. So he lost. So 2024 he fought Munguia and Berlanga. 2023 he fought Ryder and Charlo. 2022 he fought Bivol and Golovkin. That's mental. And 2021 he fought Yildirim, Saunders, and Caleb Plant. But I think it's a bit. The problem is it's a bit different when you've been doing it for, near 20 years. And I mean, when he was younger, he was fighting like 9 times a year. So you could have 2 fights a year. The reason I think and also his resume, right? The guys he's fighting. The reason we have problems with like Shakur, Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, a little bit, not as much with Devin, but a little bit. AJ, Crawford, the reason we've got problems with a lot of these guys is the level they're fighting isn't always the top level, which they make it look quite easy, and it's like, all right, cool, fine. But like Shakur versus Josh Padley, should that count as one of his fights for 2025?
I feel like you do this to rattle me, Conor.
We're not talking about Shakur, but I'm just saying, like,
I agree with you. But that rattles me because should we count Shakur's last 3 fights in that case?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, realistically, this year he should be fighting 3 times because that fight he had in February was not difficult. So, you know what I mean? And then we look at it just from other fighters. Canelo's different because he's done it. AJ's different because AJ's resume is strong, one of the strongest still going in boxing, but also AJ loses. It's heavyweights as well, which makes it a little different, but AJ actually does lose. So AJ does need time. AJ got hurt against Daniel Dubois.
Yeah, so, it looks like he's recovering. He's doing his little runs in Nigeria and that now. He's out there.
Yeah, and that's good to see. Really good to see. It's positive, but ultimately, he needs to do that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but he needs that. But if you don't need that, Moses Itauma does not need that. He is winning. He's on a hot streak. He should not fight.
We won't see that with Moses, though. He's 19 years old. He's 20 this year. So we won't see that with Moses. We'll see activity. But I'm saying to people, he started boxing really, really, really young. So it'd be interesting to see at heavyweight how long he fights for and how long he needs to fight for. How long is he going to be about before he completes everything in heavyweight boxing, if that happens? At that point there, the guy, when you think about it, the guy could retire at 32 winning everything. You know, mental, that's a great age. You've got your life still there. You made all the money you want.
I think he could have won everything by 23.
Yeah, that'd be mental.
He could have the craziest life ever. he could have completed boxing by 23. Really, he's not beating Mike Tyson's record because the belts are too tied up. If there were 5 heavyweight champions right now, I would say he's going to do it. But I don't think he beats Usyk anyway right now. And then you add to that just the fact that Usyk's got all the belts, and then it's Dubois, and they're going to fight. So it ain't happening. And there's a rematch clause in that. 100% there'll be a rematch clause in that. So, yeah. But I could see Moses beating Dubois.
Mm-hmm.
And he's only going to get better. Yeah, of course he does. Of course, if they fought tomorrow, I think Dubois would maul him.
Yeah.
But, Moses fights Balogun. Moses fights... I don't know.
At some point, though, we got to look at these... It's too early, man. Like, he's young. We don't need to kill him now.
No, I don't want to.
He's doing the right things. He's getting the right fights. I think in the next year, he needs to win a British title. I think he'll go. He doesn't need to, but I think he'll want to go that route. And then Europeans, worlds. Do you get it? How quick that will happen, I don't know. But
a lot of it's not even reliant on him. It's who's free at the time. I'm sure they didn't want Balogun. Like, with all respect, the Balogun fight isn't a massive fight. It doesn't like. I'm excited to watch him again, but I'm not excited. I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So you never know.
He's already in the world rankings, quite high, Itauma. So
he
might not even need to fight for the British.
I don't think he does personally. I think if he did fight for the British, it would be Wardley or Adeleye. But Wardley's gone past it. Wardley's fighting Jaron Miller, which we've not even spoken about yet, but we'll get to that. Although I don't know how I feel about that fight because I don't really like Jaron Miller.
I think it'd be a good fight.
I think it would be a good fight. We'll get to see how Wardley's power compares to Dubois as well, because it's kind of, mental at the moment. But let's see. WBC heavyweight rankings. Where is Moses? Well, that can't be right. I mean, first of all, Lawrence Okole's ranked number 1. Well, Usyk's champion, Kabayle's interim, Okole's number 1, AJ 2, Wardley 3. Why am I not seeing Moses Itauma's 23rd? Jermaine Franklin's above him. Joe Joyce is above him. Dillian White, Ortiz, Richard Torres Jr. Richard Torres Jr. is someone we need to talk about more, by the way. He's serious. Okay, well, he's way too low on these rankings, but I'm sure he'll get up there. I mean, David Adeley's now entered the top 40, so that's good.
Yeah.
But then he should be well above most of these. Anyway, look, Itauma's back. You know what he's going to do. We'll see him probably 3 or 4 times this year. Yeah, lethal fighter. Good. I'm excited to watch him. I'm just like, we're not at a phase yet where it matters, but at some point he'll get pushed a bit harder. Yeah. I'm not saying he's probably saying I want to get pushed harder, but they'll protect him a little for now, which is good. Right. Now, fights that are happening this weekend, or the fight that's happening this weekend, which it might be the first in a while that I stay up till 5 a.m. to watch. Jaron Ennis, who I love watching, great fighter, versus Stanionis. I'm not pronouncing MTS Stanionis. Stanionis, who notable wins on the record, not many, 15-09 knockouts, but was meant to fight Virgil Ortiz Jr. About 3 times, and it kept getting cancelled because Virgil Ortiz Jr. had just issue after issue after issue. Neither of their faults, but the way it is. IBF world title, WBA world title, Ring Magazine title. I think this is going to be a very, very difficult fight for Jaron Ennis.
It will not see where Jaron Ennis is at. Again, I'm a big fan of his and his boxing and everything else. But I've got to keep the same energy I'm keeping with Shakur. Although Jaron Ennis has been in some good fights, this is where we now see activity, a different Ennis under Eddie Hearn.
Yep.
That we were all kind of told was going to be the thing, but I haven't really seen much different. I mean, don't get me wrong, he sold out. He done his own thing in Philly, sold that out. We know he's marketable. We know he's promotable in his city. But my thing is as well, how does that change to say he's established himself realistically? It's hard, yeah, because it's like I'm trying to see where Ennis or what way Eddie's pushing him in terms of what he's trying to create with him. Like for example, it's really hard, and this ain't easy by the way, but it's really hard to have a fighter who can sell a stadium every city they go to or every country they go to. Certain fighters can do that. I think Canelo does that. I think Terence Crawford could do that.
Yeah.
I think obviously the obvious ones would be the Katie Taylors. I think she sells out places wherever she goes. I think it's a great example to make, just because what she's done in female boxing. I reckon a lot of people come out to watch Clarissa Shields. I feel like if she was to fight in the UK. My point I'm trying to get at is, does Ennis fit that mold in terms of what they're trying to build and what they're trying to grow with Ennis? And as well, that aside, it's going to be a tough fight for him. But if he comes out the other end of it, how is his career going to be guided any different to where he was at before? Because that's why he went to Eddie Hearn, right?
I think he'll fit the mold. The way he fights, he can switch stance. He is like, the best thing he does is he varies the power that he puts on punches. And when he hits you hard, he'll knock you out.
Yeah.
He's serious fighter.
Movement as well.
Creates angles,
But then he creates a lot of angles. But then have we seen him in there with somebody who is constantly going to shut him down and has the ability to be able to keep up with that for round? No, we haven't seen it. So until I see him presented with them problems, what is he? 154?
Nah, welterweight.
147.
So
Conor Ben would be a great fight for him.
I think that's what's next. I think Conor Ben fights in 2 weeks' time, and Conor Ben beats Chris Eubank Jr.
That's right, because 154 Terence has gone, isn't it? So yeah.
But obviously, it relies on Conor Ben winning. I think we will then see Jaron Ennis versus Conor Ben, assuming Ennis wins this week and Conor Ben wins at the end of the month.
Are we still saying though? So let me map it out, yeah. Because I think Conor Ben will be a world champion at 147 very soon. Win or lose against Eubank, I think he'll be a world champion at 147. Like that match doesn't tarnish or have any effect on his career, his reputation. But what I'm saying is, when we look at if he then goes and says beats a Conor Ben, so now you've done this, you've had credible fights, credible fighters. Realistically, the only fight that fans want to see at that point, and Terence fights Canelo. If Terence loses against Canelo, where does he go from there? He's back at 154. He's not going to stay at 168, 160, 168. Yeah. So we need to see Ennis and Crawford. I think it's a bigger fight now with Saudi involved than it was.
Ennis Crawford's a bigger fight now that Ennis is a world champion. If he's a unified world champion, it's way bigger. If he's beaten the likes like a Conor Ben, sick. But I think Ennis needs to go to 154 anyway. I would like him, because I like it when a fighter shows I am the best in this division and just goes through and beats everyone. I would like to see Ennis do that. Stanionis is a tough fight. I think he'll win, But in all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if there was an upset. Because
I
Stanionis is unbelievable.
I feel like Stanionis is gonna. Everyone expects Boots to get in the ring and toy and dominate, and he ain't gonna get that with Stanionis.
No,
it's gonna be a really hard fight. But then if
Yeah.
he comes out, if he still manages to do everything he does against Stanionis, when we're looking at him, we're going, okay, he's the real deal.
yeah, yeah.
So that's where this fight's at. Do you get it?
Yeah,
And
this is a big fight.
I ain't even watched a lot of Stanionis' fights, but I've watched them a little bit. There's so many boxers to keep up with in the division,
You can't watch them all.
to be honest with you. But I've seen little bits, and yeah, from what I've seen, he's very good. But it's going to be a tough fight. If he gets through it, it's another great name on the record. But then he's got to carry it on. This is the thing. But then the problem is, do I think that Ben and Ennis fight isn't happening because of conflict of interest with Eddie Hearn? Like, is that actually a thing? I know people make the assumption.
Not anymore.
Does it really matter if you've got the promoter and you've got their two fighters fighting? I never thought that is an issue.
I don't think it's a thing anymore. I think it used to be.
I never thought it was a thing, bro.
I think it was before. I reckon, turn back the clock 5 years, I don't think Eddie Hearn's making that fight. There's more acceptance for fighters that lose to watch them again.
Mm.
How many times have we watched Zhilei Zhang? And I know not everyone wants to watch Zhilei Zhang, but we watch him.
Mm.
And we've watched him 3 or 4 times now, and he loses some of those. So it happens. But I think Jaron Ennis will win this weekend, but it's going to be really tough. Might even be controversial. You might get people saying, robbery. He could also, by the way, go out there and knock him out in 2 rounds, and it'd be like, oh my God. But I see it going the full rounds. And then I think it will either be Conor Benn or Mario Barrios for the WBC world title. What would make more sense, though, is the WBO world title is held by who is it held by? Hold on. Let's find out. Brian Norman Jr. Of course, because he fought recently. I think it would make more sense for Ennis versus Norman Jr. And then Conor Benn versus Mario Barrios. And the winner is fighting for undisputed welterweight world champion. And then after that, Ennis needs to go up, because then there's no more fights for him. And then he can go up and fight Tim Tszyu. He can go up and fight Haney, Lopez, Ryan Garcia, Crawford, and then you're talking about a potentially legendary run of fights.
Yeah.
And they're all winnable as well. Like I don't know if he would win them all. They're tough. Haney could outbox him. Garcia could knock him out. Crawford could do whatever he wants. Tim Tszyu could just be harder than him, just more heart. But he could also beat them all, and that's why we're talking about a legendary run. Other than that, there's not a lot left to talk about this week. Now, I think we should go ahead and say that there's a Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank stream, because we kind of owe it to the people, and also that's one of the biggest British fights that's going to happen this year, if not the biggest.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah. So April 24th, we'll get some little things
as well. But
we will schedule it, and we will be there because it's Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr.
Yes.
I'm not promising anything. There's a chance I'll stream this weekend, but I don't think so. I can't imagine I'm up. The only reason I will be is there's boxing and also Paddy Pimlet's fighting something like maybe.
What time's Paddy Pimlet fighting?
He'll be about 4 a.m. as well.
Interesting.
I'm not promising anything.
We'll play it by ear, but I could be there. I could be there because I could be there, Connor. I'll tell you why. Because I've got to go to Cardiff on Saturday in the daytime, and I'm coming back in the evening, and I'm going to be tired. So I feel like I'm going to be able to get to sleep, set my alarm, wake up, and not have any problems getting to sleep. I could be there. We're not going to make any promises, but
no, it will be a case of if there's a stream live, you'll see it live. Cool. If it's not, it's not.
By the way, we don't run all our shit like that. But with
No.
With that one, we're going to call that lottery stream. That's
I like that lottery stream. Other than that is boxing this week. Done. I don't think there's anything else to add. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. Huh?
Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, yeah.
Yeah, they had their beef. But other than that, what have you got to add?
Fulham 3, Liverpool 2.
45 minutes, 50 seconds, and that wasn't mentioned. And I was sat here thinking it wouldn't get mentioned. Yeah.
Virgil van Maguire.
Mm-hmm.
Virgil van Maguire. You ever see that Arabic commentary? It's hilarious. Virgil van Maguire. That's too much. But yeah, like I said to you, that on a serious note to people before we go, we are obviously expanding the channel next year.
Yeah.
So we've been talking already. We had to establish this. This is still going to happen every Thursday, same time, 7:45. But me and Connor are fans of other sports as well. So don't be surprised if you don't see maybe a few Liverpool games, maybe some Fulham games, maybe some neutral games, and we're reacting to them.
It's also a good point. If you're doing a similar thing to what we're doing, whether that's for MMA, boxing, Formula One, football. I mean, we kind of got boxing on lock, but if you always come join us, why not? But if you've got any other sport, anything, literally anything, let us know and we'll talk. Because we kind of want to build this into a real just sporting community where we've got streams and videos coming out constantly. A bit more of like a broadcasting channel. Yeah. So if you're a creator, chat to us. If you're a fan, chat to us, but chat to us about sport, well, about boxing mainly. Boxing or football. Any other sport, I'm going to be making stuff up if I'm talking to you.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm
MMA
saying,
maybe, but...
we might even do a stream for Gaelic football this year. I'm telling you. It's a great spirit. I watch Gaelic football in it, so I can take the lead on it.
Okay. I might be ill that day, but I can...
The biggest sport in Ireland, by the way. We might be Irish fans.
Yeah, but I mean, my name's Irish, but I don't watch it.
It's only one. It's the main tournament they do, and it's the final everyone watches.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. Look, we're open. We'll do it all. Who knows? Maybe we'll watch the Masters tomorrow, like a bit of golf.
Horrible. I would not be watching golf. I don't think.
Oh, so I've got to watch Gaelic football, but you can't.
We'll watch golf, but I'm saying to you, it's a different.
I'm not watching golf, by the way. I was just saying that, but I'm not watching golf. What we should do is a darts night.
Golf to Gaelic football. That's what we got. Oh, darts.
Darts night would be sick.
Yeah, we watch darts. No, we're streaming darts. We're doing darts. Everyone can understand darts.
Yeah. We'll get a little graphic. All right, cool. Okay. So anyway, the point is the channel is going to get a lot more to it. It's not like next week. It's just a progress thing. But if boxing's not your thing, sort your life out. But also we got other stuff. So, you know what I mean? We're good.
What's that one? You don't like it? What are you into? Pokemon?
Transformers, you child.
Anyway, guys, that's been boxing this week.
Boxing this week, 43.
I've been here with Connor. It's another week gone, and he still hasn't told me what I'm drinking. So I'm just drinking water tonight.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hold on. Okay. In a bit.